Welcome back, America. We're here with Mr. Conservative of the U.S. Senate, our friend Senator Ted Cruz. He is a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Cruz, I want to follow up with my last guest, Hans von Spakovsky, on this birthright citizenship issue the Supreme Court's taking up. When you really look at the language in the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, you know, the history of it, this really is a simple issue, isn't it? I mean, what's going to make it complicated is the politics and the environment we're in and that sort of thing. But you and I have dealt with a lot more difficult constitutional issues than this. I think this is about as close as a slam dunk as you can get, not that we'll get one.
Well, look, I do think it's straightforward. I filed an amicus brief at the Supreme Court urging them to rule according to the plain text of the 14th Amendment that birthright citizenship is not conferred to the children of illegal aliens. And the language of the 14th Amendment is all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. The entire case turns on the words "and subject to the jurisdiction thereof." And the argument that I made in the brief is that if you owe allegiance to a foreign country, if you are not legally in the United States, that's what the language says, and that's what the framers meant when they were added that qualifier "and subject to the jurisdiction thereof." If it was the case that every child born in America was automatically a citizen, then you wouldn't need to add those words "and subject to the jurisdiction thereof." And so my hope is the Supreme Court will follow the plain text, will follow the original understanding, and will uphold President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship for the children of illegal aliens.
You know, Ted Cruz, as a moving conservative, you and I must say, when it comes to Donald Trump, he's willing to challenge things that haven't been challenged before, but he knows are right. And this is one of them. He knows that birthright citizenship is wrong. It's been explained, and he can read the 14th Amendment himself. This separates him from a lot of people, doesn't it? A lot of politicians and statesmen and presidents, for sure, that he says, okay, you know what? I'm going to sign an executive order, and that's where we're going, and we're going to take it to the court.
Look, the single best aspect and attribute of Donald Trump is that he's got backbone. He's got guts. He is not afraid. I spend a lot of time with him. You talk to him a lot. I talk to him a lot. And he has guts in a way that we have not seen among very many Republicans. And this is, look, as a policy matter, birthright citizenship is stupid. It is a bad policy. Why? Because it incentivizes illegal immigration. It makes absolutely no sense that someone breaks the law and they get rewarded with a very, very precious gift, which is American citizenship. We see on the southern border, as you know, I spend a lot of time on the southern border. We see regularly pregnant women coming across the southern border. In fact, there's a whole industry called birth tourism where you'll have, say, a Chinese woman fly over to America on a tourist visa who happens to be 8.5 months pregnant, and she comes over just for the purpose of having the baby here so that baby magically becomes a U.S. citizen. That doesn't make any sense. That's not a rational immigration system. If you want to immigrate to a country, there's a way to do it. You do it legally. You apply to come in. And America is very generous. We are the most generous country in the world with allowing people to come here legally. There's no reason our law should reward people who break the law. And so I think President Trump is exactly right on this.
He is. There's no history to support this. There's no statute to support this. There is absolutely nothing that supports this. Zero. And hopefully the court will have the guts to do the right thing.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.